Thank you for coming to this presentation. I'm going to present a paper on the role of national culture in cross-listing and reverse cross-listing decisions. So first of all, I want to give special thanks to my co-authors, Professor Hong Wayne Cott and Louise Tim. Both of them are from University of Macau. So they spend a lot of time manually collecting the data on cross-listing and reverse cross-listing information. So I want to thank them first. So cross-listing or reverse cross-listing are major financing decisions. And people have done a lot of work on the reasons of cross-listing. So we define a cross-listing as one of these three types. So as long as a company has a cross-listing in a foreign country, we will define that as a cross-listing event. And reverse cross-listing refers to the scenario when a company has had a cross-listing in a foreign country already, and then sometime later it goes back to its home country. So it does a IPO in a home country after cross-listing in a foreign country. So we limited our sample to the cross-listing events when it was an IPO. So when the company does get money, capital from a financial market. And there are many, many reasons that have been identified by the literature for cross-listing. So I list some of the reasons here. So basically, when a company does cross-listing, there must be benefits. For example, cheaper capital or a commitment to disclosure government standards, or maybe the foreign market can give a high price to this company. So there must be benefits. But at the same time, there are barriers when a company goes to international, goes to a foreign market. For example, cultural or institutional or legal barriers. And so we have these benefits, but also we have barriers. So that makes me and my co-authors think maybe culture has a role, because culture is related to the willingness of a company to take risk, to go overseas. So we will focus on the three cultural dimensions in the Hofstede framework, namely individualism, uncertain avoidance, and power distance. So all these three dimensions are relevant to a company's willingness to take risk, to overcome the barriers when they see the benefits of IPO in a foreign market. So the findings are, number one, for cross-listing, firms from individualist countries or low uncertain avoidance countries and low power distance countries are more likely to cross-list in foreign markets. So that's consistent with our understanding of these three cultural dimensions. And also the role of culture is different between the host country being a developing market versus a developed market. And for reverse cross-listing, the role of culture is much less. Only uncertain avoidance has a role. But in summary, culture doesn't have a very large effect on cross-listing or reverse cross-listing as we expected. But we hope this paper can provide some evidence to stimulate more research on the effect of culture on cross-listing and reverse cross-listing decisions. Thank you.